Ladies and gentlemen, starting with the day's top story. India and Canada are dealing with an unprecedented diplomatic crisis which can have political as well as geopolitical consequences. Now, Canada has made unsubstantiated public allegations of Indian involvement in the assassination of a person designated as a terrorist by India. The world, in fact, is seeking evidence as the only logical way forward from here. None seems to be forthcoming from Canada. In fact, India has branded these claims as absolutely absurd. Even Canada's defense minister said that ties with India are of utmost importance. Meanwhile, back here in India, a massive crackdown on the Khalistan network has already begun. Take a look at this report, then we get you some exclusive inputs on the Indian intel-owned Khalistani network in Canada.
At the core of the ongoing India-Canada tensions lies the Khalistan movement. And Trudeau is fooling no one by shielding the Khalistani terrorists behind the veil of the right to free speech.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
Meanwhile, back here in India, the agencies have tightened the noose around Khalistanis. Firozpur police conducted raids on the premises of associates of Lakhbir Singh alias Landa.
There are 48 teams of the Firozpur police itself that are carrying out the raids at the multiple locations. The raids have started early in the morning and at some locations they are still underway. Because there is a localized ground support that we have been talking since morning, as 45 of the key associates of the Khalistani terrorists have been identified by the National Investigation Agency. So the Firozpur police is also looking for that local angle, that who are the local supporters of these Khalistani terrorists.
Despite this, Trudeau is defending Khalistani extremism and destroying his diplomatic relations with India. Even his own defense minister is concerned on ties with India. While India may not have any problem with Trudeau driving his nation into an abyss, it will surely act as his actions start impacting its national security and territorial integrity. Justin Trudeau's diplomatic blunder with India will serve as a cautionary tale. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, in fact, Republic has accessed an intelligence report on Khalistani network in Canada, and revelations by Indian intelligence have brought to light concerns over the presence of a Khalistani terror network operating in Canada. The dossier, in fact, provided by Indian authorities identifies several Canadian nationals purportedly linked to the proscribed International Sikh Youth Federation and the Khalistani Liberation Force. Remember, both these terrorist groups that we are talking about, they have been charge sheeted by the National Investigation Agency. In fact, in one charge sheet that has been produced before the court by the National Investigation Agency, the federal agency makes a clear link with regards to Hardeep Singh Nijjar and Arshdeep Dalla. In fact, the allegation that has been leveled against Hardeep Singh Nijjar was that he was in touch with Arshdeep Dalla. In fact, carried out extortion in Punjab, which basically included businessmen. Prominent businessmen were being extorted by Hardeep Singh Nijjar through Arshdeep Dalla. Both were basically charge sheeted. Remember, this is a case that was registered back in 2021 by the National Investigation Agency, which makes a mention of this. And now comes the other link. Let's put this out. In fact, we are given to understand that the Pakistan link has also emerged in the investigations that have been carried out so far by the National Investigation Agency. In one of the charge sheets that has been filed by the agency, they make a mention of there has been a smuggling of narcotics, weapons, as well as explosives. In fact, proscribed terror organizations were giving full-fledged support to these Khalistani elements. They were the ones who were transporting the narcotics as well as explosives and weapons across the border. And the group that was behind it was Khalistani Liberation Force and several others that were also involved. Let me try and quickly go across to my colleague Gurdwaras, who's joining us on this broadcast, getting us more details. In fact, viewers, top sources now telling Republic TV that within 48 hours, it is expected that a major crackdown on the Khalistani network will take place in India. In fact, it has already begun. This weekend, we first saw Gurpatwant Singh Pannu's premises being raided by the National Investigation Agency. In fact, the property was seized not just in Chandigarh but also in Amritsar. Joining us on this broadcast is my colleague Gurdwaras, getting us the latest details. Gurdwaras, a list of over 20 that has been finalized. Why don't you take us through the top 20 names that figures in that particular list? We'll also put that out for our viewers in a short while from now.
See, Shawan, the main names that are in the list that was shared by the Indian agencies with the foreign governments, especially with the Canada, since these all 20 are from Canada. This has been shared time and again with the Canadian authorities to act on them. This includes the Arshdeep Dalla, Lakhbir Singh Landa, and also this includes Nova Dillu, whose name has surfaced in multiple killings in Punjab. Now, apart from that, 6 terrorists whose names has surfaced are from the Indian Sikh Youth Federation. 3 are from the Khalistan Tiger Force and 2 from the Khalistan Liberation Force, and 9 others including Arshdeep Dalla and others including Gurjinder Pannu, Gurjeet Chima and others have also surfaced. All this, they are basically they are in the majority of 3 regions. First is they are from Surrey, British Columbia, Ontario and Toronto. These are the 4 main areas where they are actually based. However, we are being told that they are frequently changing their locations, but these were the locations that the agencies had with them that were shared with the Canadian counterparts, but the Canadian side bothered not to act on this. And you also made a mention of the Pakistani angle, that how the smuggling of narcotics was taking place. So the key role that was being played, it was the Lakhbir Singh Rode, and Rinda played a key role. It was assisted by Ranjit Nita and also the Lakhbir Landa. So this is overall the modus operandi, that how these gangsters sitting in Canada, they were helping those sitting in Pakistan to smuggle narcotics and weapons into the Indian territory, because the name of Gurtej Pannu that has surfaced, his name has also surfaced in multiple weapon droppings into the Indian territory since 2017. So this is overall a cocktail that these Khalistani elements are using.
Right.
Not only they are into the illegal trade in Canada, but they are also pushing narcotics so that the money generated can be used for their activities.
Well, in fact, we've accessed the full list of the terrorists who have been named by the National Investigation Agency. Now, this is based on the investigation that has been carried out so far. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just put this into perspective, that this list is based on the multiple FIRs that were registered by the National Investigation Agency. Now, as per the breaking news that we are getting in, this is with regards to the Gurdwaras that have basically come under this scanner. There are roughly about 200 Gurdwaras that are operating in Canada. 8 appears to be under this direct control of the Khalistani groups. We are just putting out more details. Approximately 200 Gurdwaras in Canada. Out of them, 8 are in control of Khalistani groups. In fact, remember, the activities, especially in Toronto, has been under the scan of the National Investigation Agency, because a large part of it has been online, and the online radicalization has been taking place. And these groups are especially active in Surrey, Brampton, and a few other places in Toronto. 8 such locations is what we are picking up right now. 8 Gurdwaras rather, which has basically come under the scanner of the National Investigation Agency, where they believe that anti-national activities have been taking place, and they have certainly been a reason to worry. Getting in another big breaking news, back-to-back news breaks on Republic TV. The National Investigation Agency have released the names of 20 Khalistani terrorists linked to banned terror groups operating from Canadian soil. Few of the names, which includes Arshdeep Dalla, Goldie Brar, Sonowar Dillon, Raman, Judge and others related to outfits like International Sikh Youth Federation, Khalistan Tiger Force and Khalistan Liberation Front. These are some of the details that we have got. In fact, we've got the full list. We'll try and put this out, the names. Let me quickly bring in my colleague Gursimran while we just take you through the entire list that has been exclusively accessed by Republic TV just ahead of that big crackdown that's expected in the next 48 hours is what we are being told. To begin with, as far as the Khalistani Liberation Front is concerned, Gursimran, this includes Gurjeet Chima, he is based in Toronto. Gurpreet Singh, he is based in Surrey. Manveer Singh, also in Toronto. What you see right now, we have put out the names starting from Gurjeet Chima in Toronto. That's from Khalistan Liberation Front. Let's quickly move to the other names that we have accessed. A full list of 20 people. That's Gurpreet Singh, based in Surrey. Manveer Singh in Toronto. Let's move to the other. Khalistan Tiger Force. Mohinder Bijal, based in Vancouver. Mandeep Dhaliwal, based in Surrey. Then you have the International Sikh Youth Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, important to point out here is this. International Sikh Youth Federation has a clear Pakistani link. If you take a look at the charge sheet that has been filed by the National Investigation Agency and the FIR that was registered back in 2021, this was with regards to how explosives, narcotics, weapon were all being smuggled from Pakistan. International Sikh Youth Federation was being named in the charge sheet. This includes Tehel Singh from Toronto, Malkeet Fauji from Surrey, Manveer Dora from British Columbia, and a few others. Let me just once again go across to my colleague Gursimran, helping us break down this big story that we are tracking ahead of all other network, getting the full list, Gursimran, about these terrorists who've been operating all this while. In fact, Gursimran, one of my sources within the National Investigation Agency indicating that ISF, the International Sikh Youth Federation, now that becomes, this is an organization which has a clear Pakistani ISI backing. And the fact that also finds a route all the way to Canada. So help us break down how exactly are the Khalistani terrorist groups linked to Pakistan and for that matter even in Canada, and how are they given that safe haven in Canada?
See, Shawan, you made a mention of ISYF, and among the those terrorists who are linked to ISYF is Gurjinder Pannu. And if you go by the details, he's a Canadian passport holder. He has visited India in 2017, and during investigation, it came into being that he was here not only to radicalize youth, but also to take a step further to reactivate the cadre of the Khalistani groups in Punjab, so that he can activate the cadres here and carry out the terror activities that are detrimental to the security of the India. So this is what he has done. And now coming to the, you were mentioning that 8 Gurdwaras are in control of the Khalistani elements. If you draw a parallel with the places where they are holding the Gurdwaras administration to the places where they are majority in, because the security agencies that have provided details to the Canadian authorities that these Khalistani elements are active in Surrey, it is in Brompton, it is in Ontario, it is in Toronto and British Columbia. And these are the same places where they have hold on the Gurdwara. So this is the majority, these are the places where they have their hold, and that's why they are using these Gurdwaras, these religious places, to radicalize the youth. Now coming to their Pakistani part, yes, their Pakistani part is being taken by Rinda and Rode. They are taking the charge there, pushing the weapons and narcotics into the Indian territory. Ranjit Nita remains to be the point person for the Khalistani based in Canada, those who are coordinating with him to carry out the smuggling of weapons and narcotics into the Indian territory. Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Gursimran, for getting us the latest details as we prepare for that big breaking news coming in from the National Investigation Agency as the crackdown has already begun. In fact, the deadline for Khalistan Zindabad Force Chief Ranjit Nita ends, and now property of Nita in Jammu and Kashmir will be attached soon. Now, according to agencies, 30 days time has been given to Ranjit Nita to surrender before the NIA court. Ranjit Nita is presently operating from Pakistan. and is backed by Pakistan intel agency ISI. In fact, as we've been pointing out that the crackdown has begun. It is expected to only intensify in the days to come. A story that will be tracked very closely here on Republic TV.